Hello, and welcome again to Friends in Faith. My name's Tri Fritz. I'm the Director of Adult Faith Formation at St. Philip the Apostle Parish. Today we're going to be starting a new series that is based on a book called Blessed Are the MisFits by Brant Hansen, who's a Christian author and radio host. Now, Mr. Hansen describes his book as great news for believers who are introverts, spiritual strugglers, or just feeling like they are missing something. So, if you're someone whose faith makes perfect sense to you and fits seamlessly into your life, this video series might not be for you. Now today, I'm going to focus on a chapter that Mr. Hansen titles, Blessed Are the Unfeeling Faithful. Have you gone to Mass and seen someone who seems to be almost bathing in the experience? They're taking in the music, the prayers, the miracle of the Eucharist in some kind of devotional splendor. Have you ever wondered, why isn't that me? Now, I'm not criticizing these people at all. God bless them for their experience. But have you ever felt lesser because this isn't your experience? I mean, God's never spoken words into my ears. Have you ever wondered if you have done something or are doing something wrong? That you're not worthy or not one of the chosen because you haven't felt the literal presence of the Lord? Well, I'm happy to say that we are still very much in the grace of God, even if we don't necessarily feel that blanket of love around us. In fact, we're not any kind of exception. We're the norm. Now, we can see this abundantly in Scripture. Abraham had multiple interactions with God, but there were droughts of decades between them. Does that mean that God was absent? No, there simply wasn't a need for that kind of interaction. God only spoke to Isaac twice and to Rebekah once. So the thought that you need to have a constant, direct interaction with the Lord isn't necessarily true. We also see this with Moses and the Israelites. God may have interacted with Moses. However, who was saved from the Egyptians? Everyone. Everyone who believed. Everyone who followed the commands of the Lord. It didn't matter that they didn't have an interaction or a one-on-one with God. Everyone was delivered from slavery. A generation later, the Lord would interact with and lead Joshua. But it was the entire nation of Israel that was blessed and allowed to enter into the promised land. Both are a nice bit of foreshadowing of our own relationship with God. Now, one thing that Mr. Hansen emphasizes about the unfeeling faithful is that we are in good company. And despite being an evangelical Christian, he uses as an example a Catholic mainstay, Saint Mother Teresa. Now, this poor and frail woman was clearly blessed by God with a strength to help those around her in a way that continues to amaze us. However, as we look closer into her life, we find that there was a time when Mother Teresa felt herself in a spiritual desert, without the closeness that she once felt with the Lord. Did she stop believing? No, of course not. And she continued the work that the Lord had called to her as one of the unfeeling faithful. And despite that, we can see that Mother Teresa still had all of the strength and courage and humility to do that work without feeling a rapturous presence of the Lord guiding her hand. Now, being a member of the Unfeeling faithful doesn't mean that you're simply part of a large group of nameless people that happen to believe in God and in His church. In fact, as this chapter declares, you are blessed. And who tells us this? Jesus Himself. After His rising in the Gospel of John, Jesus says to doubting Thomas, "You believe because you have seen me." Now, to paraphrase this, Jesus is basically saying that you've had the benefit of hearing my words from my own lips. You've had the benefit of seeing the love of God through miracles that I've been able to perform. You should believe. But you know who is really blessed? The people who have not seen these things, who have not heard the word from my own lips, and yet still believe. So, is this you? Are you someone who has never had an angel on your shoulder, received a special message, seen something miraculous, or reveled in God's love like a warm bath, and yet still believe? Well, congratulations and welcome to the ranks of the unfeeling faithful. And do know that you are blessed. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a wonderful discussion.